Okay, so once you've got some contacts in the system, you can move on to the process of composing messages. And this is slightly different from what you might be used to in other email marketing software, because in this case, you're not actually composing messages. It's the system, it's the AI that's writing the messages. All you're doing is putting data in as a prompt to give it some information on which to base its own message writing. So click on the Compose tab, and the first things you'll see are the simple sort of setup fields. So you can enter a subject line, and in here we've already got some test data that I've entered earlier, just for demo purposes. But in the subject line, you can insert variables so that each subject line to each recipient is customized. The variables are things like company name, first name, last name. And to do that, you just start typing a curly bracket, and it will show you which variables you can insert in the subject line. So we'll go with this example is a user experience testing company. So the subject line will be the recipient's company name, UX testing. Then the next thing you've got a bit of control over is how you start your email, the intro line. Maybe you want to start with dear so-and-so, or hi, or hey, or whatever. That's entirely your choice, and you can put that in here along with, again, the variable of the first name. And then the next thing is to enter your own website. So essentially, the AI of the system is going to go off and crawl your website and get a better understanding of what it is that you do from the content that's on your website. So you just type in or paste in the URL of your own website, and there's a button here that you can click to analyze, and it will come up with this summary of the analysis of your own business that it's discovered. But then, in order to give it a bit more detail, we want to be able to describe exactly what it is that you do, just in a few sort of fairly brief sentences that you want to offer and sell to your prospects. So, and the key thing to bear in mind here is that you're not writing as if you're writing to the prospect. What you're writing in here is to tell the AI what it is that you do, so it has information to write its own email. So for instance, here it says, describe what you do, and the answer for this particular example, user experience testing, state-of-the-art UX testing lab, eye tracking biometrics, and so on. So now the system understands what it is that you do. And the second thing to understand, it will already sort of try to work out what these things are, but it helps to guide it by telling it what are the challenges that you solve for your prospects. So again, we're telling the system, we're not writing as if we're writing the email content. So the prospects' challenges in this case are that they have little to no understanding of how users interact with their websites and digital products in the real world, hard to use digital experiences, and so on. Then optionally, you can put in, if you have any results or case studies that you want to mention in the email, put a bit of information about that in here. The call to action. So this is what action you want your prospect to take in response to receiving this email from you. So for instance, it might be that you want them to book a Zoom call with you, or that you want to be able to send them a brochure or some case studies or something. Now, it's useful to know that with cold outreach sales emails, the best call to actions are ones that they sort of require lower levels of commitment than just going straight into saying, can we have a call? Because actually asking a complete stranger who's just got an email from you for the first time ever, can you jump on a video call with them? That's quite a big leap to go from nothing to expecting them to commit their time to a video call just on the strength of one email. Much better to give them something that's a bit easier for them to say yes to, like, can I send you a brochure, or can I send you some case studies or some follow-up information? But it's entirely up to you. You can add whatever call to action that you would like to in here. Then you've got some control over the tone of voice of the messages. So the default one, and certainly the most recommended one, is just to use a friendly, informal, and conversational tone. But you can adjust this to be light-hearted and playful, short and to the point. Or, for instance, if you're writing to, I don't know, something like legal firms or funeral directors or something, you can choose to be more formal and serious in your tone. The language option enables you to put in literally any language in the world. So it defaults to UK English, but if you type in Spanish or Mandarin or whatever, all of the messages will be written in whatever language you specify here. And then finally, your email signature and how you want to sign off the email. Many thanks, kind regards, and so on. You've got full control of over there. Then there's a bit of information here about how you deal with allowing people to unsubscribe from your list. You don't actually necessarily have to have an unsubscribe link. In fact, we don't even recommend that you do put that in for reasons that are explained in the system here. Or you can just add a simple line of unsubscribe text at the end of your email, just telling people how they can unsubscribe if they want to. Then all of that data, once you've completed it, you can save it as a template so that you can return to it in future. And then once it's all in, the interesting part here is the generate preview button. So this is now going to show you the kind of email that it's going to create for every one of your contacts based on the content that you've put into your message prompt. And it's going to be unique and different for every single contact, depending on what it is that they do. So the first contact is picked at random, Nordic Outdoor. So it's picked up the fact that they're an outdoor retail e-commerce team. And then it talks about things that are very specific to their business, and how UX testing and the kind of stuff that you put in here might be relevant to an outdoor e-commerce retailer. This just gives you a sample, a flavour of the kind of emails that it's going to send and generate uniquely to each individual contact. So at the moment, we've got about 130 contacts in the system. So if I click refresh preview, it should pick on another contact to give us another preview of what it might say to a different recipient. And here's the next one. It's picked on Jim King. So here it's talking about athleisure retailers with lifestyle brands and how UX testing might impact them. And again, it's specific content, particularly to a gymwear retailer. And you can go through and you can refresh the preview and view as many as you want to get a flavour of the kind of messages that it's going to send. And if you want to, you can go back into your form and obviously adjust your prompt input if you want to kind of tweak the way that it's writing its messages. But once you're generally happy with the flavour of what it appears to be saying, then you can simply click the button to start a campaign, and it will write these emails individually, uniquely tailored, using what they call true generative messaging, which is AI writing a unique email to each recipient at the time of sending.